Yes, Lord, accept this woman into your loving embrace. Free her body of Satan's grasp. This is the full story of how I split ties with a friend who attempted to perform an exorcism on me. Where to start? For as long as I can remember, I've always been different from all the other kids. I've been bullied, picked on, and physically abused by my peers for the stupidest shit. My appearance, the way I spoke, how I acted, how I felt towards girls, my autistic tendencies, and even my taste in music. When I was little, I lived in the small town of Green River. I slowly developed depression and anxiety due to the hell the other kids put me through in elementary school. Luckily, I was able to get out of that toxic environment when I moved to Salt Lake City at the age of 7. I was still periodically picked on, but only because my self-esteem was so watered down that I became the loner. Rumors began to circulate that I was a closeted homosexual. Well, they weren't wrong. I did, however, have one crush on a boy, but he moved away before I could tell him how I felt. When I was 14 and in middle school, I started a YouTube channel as a way to make videos for one of my best friends, to make her smile when days were looking bleak and life didn't seem worth living anymore. On a friend's suggestion, I soon after made the channel public. I posted an unlisted Bendy and the Ink Machine song by the name of Scrapped Letters, when another account popped up in the comments of that song. The account was run by a girl around my age that would eventually become one of my best friends for a difficult and rocky 8 months. I became friends with Avi in November of 2018 via Twitter DMs. I got to know her better, and I honestly thought she was really cool. She was into Steven Universe, children's media, and electronic music, plus a few other things. She was this flaming ball of personality, and I really appreciated that. A month or two into 2019, I began to question my belief in my religion, Methodism, and fell deeper into my already spiraling depression. I never felt like God was there if you let all that shit happen in grade school, so I declared myself an atheist. I decided to use my YouTube to vent and made a video titled, Why I'm an Atheist, to get my feelings out there. Later that night, Avi contacted me to reveal more of herself. She was born, baptized, and raised in a strict Catholic family and claimed God wanted her to heal me, to make me happier and get me closer to him. I decided, fuck it, why not? What could go wrong? And I gave her my phone number so we could video chat on Google Duo. We did these religious therapy lessons, or RTL as we called it. 3 weeks in, I started to feel uncomfortable with what she wanted from me. She wanted me to give up things that were extremely important to me. I eventually said I felt uncomfortable with the lessons, and we stopped. She wasn't happy with that, and often brought up how much it broke her heart. God damn it, as if I didn't feel bad enough. Don't know if you noticed, but I curse like a fucking sailor, though I do believe it's obvious. It doesn't make me a bad person, it's just how I talk. Avi would insult me for swearing during our calls. Look, I would understand if she politely asked me to stop, because it made her uncomfortable and offended her. But no, she would claim that I'm uneducated and demanded me to stop, because she said I'd go to hell otherwise. Sometimes I would purposely say vulgar shit just to piss her off. She didn't appreciate that. One day, out of the blue, she asked me, "Hey, you have a really lively personality, and you're a very pretty girl. Do you have a boyfriend?" Oh boy, how was I supposed to answer this one? I tried simply avoiding the question, or flat out changing the subject, but she just replied with, "Hey, it's cool if you don't. I'm single too, but I like to imagine what he'd be like." Sometimes I'd just straight up hang up on her, but that would never work, because she'd always call back and be absolutely pissed that I hung up on her. I eventually came out to her as gay, and told her that I in fact had a transgender girlfriend. She didn't approve, but told me it was my decision. I flew off the handle at her, screaming at the screen. I never asked to be gay. If it were my decision, I'd be straight like everyone else. Then people wouldn't have another reason to roll their eyes at me. This wasn't even the first argument I had with Avi. We argued over the littlest things, but always made up in the end. We'd yell at each other, apologize, cry about how much we meant to each other, agree to disagree, and repeat. The cycle drove me nuts, but I told myself, she's a good friend. I need her. She only wants what's best for me. I can't stay mad at her. I was clingy and wanted to keep her in my life. She really did care about me. One night I was sick in bed. She called me and cheered me up when I was feeling absolutely horrible. She tried her best to provide alternatives to hurting myself in all ways possible, like writing, drawing, or singing. Her voice was beautiful, very bluesy and smooth. She was so profound and charismatic and talked to me like I was a real person, but I didn't regret leaving her after what happened next. One morning, Avi called me to see how I was doing. She started talking about a camp she went over that weekend where she claimed she felt God's presence. She then started talking shit about how she knew God existed and I was wrong to deny it. I very blankly told her that I'm very glad she found happiness that week when I really couldn't give two fucks. She then went off on this rant about how she wanted me to feel the presence of God and be as happy as she was. I told her no, but she insisted. I could have hung up, but I figured I've done that enough at this point and didn't feel like breaking into another fight. She started reading her Bible so passionately, and it made me sick. I started sweating, hyperventilating, and shaking, and I threw up. A lot. While this was going on, Avi just kept on chanting, "Yes, Lord, accept this woman into your loving embrace. Free her body of Satan's grasp." I finished throwing up and walked back to my bed where the phone was. "How do you feel?" she asked me. "First of all, fuck you, man. Second of all, I just had a fucking panic attack. What do you think?" She denied it. She claimed that me throwing up was God releasing harmful toxins from my body. Unbelievable. Did she forget that I have anxiety? Or is she really that fucking ignorant? I tried to remind her of my condition. She didn't give in. Funny, she was just as depressed as I was when we first met and understood me. And now? She's an oblivious fucking Bible thumper. I lost my patience. "You know what? Fuck this," is the last thing I said to her before hanging up on her for the last time. In the Twitter DMs, I told her that this wasn't going to work out and that I never wanted her to talk to me again. She respected my decision, apologized, and said goodbye. I blocked her, she blocked me. I deleted her number, she never called me again. I unsubscribed from her channel, and she never commented on my videos again. I felt free, but I miss her so bad. She was a good friend, if you take away all the arguments and religious shit. She was caring, funny, talented, and overall full of personality. It's been 2 months, and I'm still not over her, but she's over me. Curiosity flooded my senses, and I decided to see how she was doing. She didn't mention me in any way, shape, or form, anywhere. Suppose she might be keeping this shit show to herself, but she was never one to keep or hold back secrets. Maybe she's changed? I don't know. I ended up going through hell and back trying to get over her. I developed an awful fear of religion, to the point where I couldn't even look at a cross, or hear the word Catholic without freaking the fuck out. I got over it after my art teacher and I had a good pep talk. I told my mom about how I've been feeling. She listened patiently and gave me some good advice on how to cope. She also corrected me on one little mistake. I was never really atheist. Atheist is not believing in any god, while agnostic is questioning, not confirming nor denying that there is some form of higher power. I'm what you refer to as agnostic. Cool. Glad we cleared that up. I am 15, so of course I fucked up that definition. I still self-harm, and I can't stop thinking about Avi. But I've got good friends, an awesome girlfriend, and some great adults in my life looking out for me. I still write songs, and I'm writing one about my experience with Avi to cope. I find that listening to heavy metal really helps. Look, I'm a fighter, and I will get through this. But I have to be the one to strike the match in the darkness of my life.